You ever have one of those days where you feel like you're just being shouted at from every single direction? I mean, think about it. The second you wake up and grab your phone, during your commute, the shows you binge at night, you're just getting flooded with thousands upon thousands of messages, and they're all fighting for a tiny little piece of your attention. Well, for every brand out there, that's the number one problem they're trying to solve. We're living in this incredibly chaotic, totally oversaturated world of media. It's not a conversation, really. It's more like a giant stadium where every single company has a megaphone and they're all just yelling at the top of their lungs. Sometimes they try to get your attention by bringing out the big guns. You know, a huge budget TV commercial with a super famous celebrity, hoping that a little star power and a few laughs will make their product stick in your brain. But then you've got a totally different approach, like a lightning-fast, super witty tweet that just perfectly captures a moment in pop culture. It doesn't even feel like an ad, right? It feels more like that one clever friend who always has the perfect comeback in the group chat. And then there's marketing that, well, it doesn't even feel like marketing at all. It's not a commercial or a post. It's just woven right into the fabric of your day-to-day life, becoming this useful, helpful part of the city and your routine. Okay, so you've got TV ads, you've got viral tweets, you've got these branded experiences, all of it happening at the same time. So how in the world does any single brand manage to cut through all of that noise and get you to actually listen to them over everyone else? Well, that is the big question, and we're about to answer it. To figure this out, we've got to look at the tools that marketers actually have to work with. I want you to think of it like a master craftsperson's toolkit. Except instead of hammers and wrenches, this thing is packed with a whole arsenal of persuasive techniques. And here they are, the main tools in that kit. This is what's known as the marketing communications mix. It's basically the 8 major ways marketers can reach you. Each one has a really specific job, right? A big TV ad is all about broad awareness. A targeted email is for making a direct sale. A sponsored concert is for building a community. They all do different things. Just listing them off is one thing, but seeing how they're used out in the wild, that's where things get really interesting. So let's pull a few of these tools out of the box and see how some clever brands have put them to work. So first up, we've got online and social media marketing. This tool is all about being fast, being relevant, and being interactive. It's how brands can jump into the conversation while it's actually happening. And this is probably one of the most brilliant examples of all time. Back at the 2013 Super Bowl, the power went out, and in minutes, Oreo's marketing team tweeted this simple, perfect image with the line, "You can still dunk in the dark." It cost them basically nothing, but it went insanely viral because it was smart, it was fast, and it was totally on brand. That's pure creative genius winning the day. Okay, next tool from the kit, events and experiences. This is what you use when just telling people something isn't enough. The whole idea here is to make your brand a physical, real, tangible part of a customer's world. The Citi Bike program in New York is a perfect example of this. Citibank didn't just run a bunch of ads saying, "We support New York." Nope. They literally put their name on a useful service that thousands of people see and touch and use every single day. The brand becomes part of the city's rhythm. It is the city in motion. And of course, we have the old classic, advertising. We all know this one. It's paid, it's not one-on-one, and its main job is just to cast a super wide net, to make a big, loud statement to as many people as possible. But even this traditional tool can feel totally fresh. What Dodge did here was amazing. They didn't just try to sell a car, they sold entertainment. They hired Will Ferrell to be his character Ron Burgundy, and they created these commercials that were so funny people actually wanted to watch them and share them. It became its own little cultural event. So we've seen social media, real-world experiences, big-budget ads, but here's the secret sauce. The real magic isn't in any single one of these tools. The key to actually cutting through all that noise is making them all work together. And that brings us to the core concept, integrated marketing communications, or IMC for short. It's really just a fancy way of saying there's a plan to make sure every single time you see a brand, on TV, on a bike, on your phone, it's all telling the same consistent, connected story. Remember those Ron Burgundy ads? That wasn't just a TV spot. It was this massive campaign with social media takeovers, web videos, and special promotions at the dealerships, all in that same hilarious voice. That is integration. Let's just break that down a bit. On the left, that's the old way of doing things. It's siloed. It's a mess. You've got different teams doing different things, the messaging is all over the place, customers get confused, and you're just wasting money. But on the right, with an integrated approach, you get one clear, consistent message that builds a powerful brand identity, and all the channels start working together to boost each other, which gives you way more impact for your buck. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The goal is to create a single, seamless, and powerful brand experience. It means that no matter where or how you bump into a brand, it should feel like it's all part of one big, cohesive story. So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that building a brand people remember isn't about having the loudest megaphone in the stadium. It's about speaking with one clear, unified voice everywhere you go. So how do brands actually do this? Well, they adopt what we call the IMC mindset. It's a pretty simple but really powerful framework. First, you start with the customer and understand their world. Second, you think about all the different ways you can actually reach them in a meaningful way. Third, you aim for synergy. You know, that idea where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And finally, you focus on building a real relationship, not just a one-off sale. And here's a really crucial point. Integration doesn't mean you have to use every single tool in the toolkit for every campaign. Not at all. It means you strategically pick the right tools for that specific job, and then you make sure they're all playing the same song, perfectly in tune. So I'll leave you with a little challenge. The next time you see a funny commercial or a clever post from a brand, don't just stop there. Look a little closer. Can you see how it connects to their website, or what they're doing in stores, or any events they're hosting? Can you spot the rest of the campaign? Because if you can, you're not just looking at an ad anymore, you're seeing brilliant, integrated marketing in action.